I was sick for months or weeks. My strength and energy is gone. Where do I start? Macros confuse me. How do I know what to eat without stressing? Number one is we are trying to prioritize protein, a palm-sized serving, pretty much every meal. The holidays leave me bloated and spiraling. What actually helps? Do not go to panic mode. Hey, it's me. How are you? Wouldn't it be cool if you could actually respond? Maybe just respond out loud, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. You're listening to this on a walk. Maybe you're in your car. Tell me how you're doing. And like really how you're doing. Not just like I'm fine, I'm okay. Like tell me how you're doing. Maybe you even need to hit pause real quick to just say it out loud. Because sometimes saying it out loud makes your feelings real and valid. And it's hard to do it with a stranger. So pretend like you are just speaking it into existence, saying it out loud and telling me how you really feel. I want to hear it. Okay, now that you've done that, I'm so happy to have you here. It means the world to me. And I can't tell you how many times I record these episodes. And I'm just so thankful that I get to do this. Like it feels amazing. We are about 800,000 downloads. That is wild to me. I can't wait to hit 1 million. Not even just like the accomplishment of being like 1 million downloads. Well, okay, yes. Yeah, I'm going to celebrate it. But also like how crazy it is that people actually want to listen to me. I don't know. There's something about it. I still talk to people in the DMs all the time. I'm in the DMs all the time, by the way, on my Instagram all the time. So please know that that's me. And then I get on calls with a lot of women that, potentially want to work with us in Broad's community. And they're like, oh my God, I feel like I'm talking to a celebrity. I am the most normal human being in the whole world. I promise you that. I just have a platform that I speak on my thoughts, opinions, and experience and education and expertise. However, I am super normal. I'm just a normal kind of gal. And so I really, truly hope that you feel like these episodes, specifically the solo ones where I'm just talking to blank air, looking at a camera, but really it's just me in here, that we are in this together. And anytime I do these Q&A episodes, I just feel very thankful that people actually sit down and listen to these. And these are actually our most highly performed episodes, which is crazy to me because it's just me. I'm not even talking to anyone else, but people love these. So we got to keep it rolling. And I love when the questions come in. It makes me super happy. Basically, any question that you ask me in the DMs, anytime I put like a Q&A box up, I like to do these as long form as well. So right now, if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you. I'm sitting with my legs cross-legged right now. Crisscross applesauce, I think is what the kids used to call it. And this is literally how I sit all the time. Maybe you guys can relate to this, but I'm just sitting on the ground or sitting on a chair, like cross-legged. So I actually got this chair recently. I think they called it the ADHD, sorry, chair. I got it off Amazon and I was like very skeptical at first, and now I'm obsessed with it. Like it's only been 3 days, but I love it because I could sit cross-legged. I could sit with it in many different ways. And I was just like, do I have ADHD? Maybe I do. Either way, this chair is amazing. It's incredible. Like I highly recommend it. It's probably not like ergonomically great for me, but you know what? I stand and walk so much. Anyways, rant over. Let's get into the Q&A today. Let's get into it. But either way, I hope that when you listen to these episodes that you feel like I'm just kind of with you. I'm just a human being just like you, and we are kind of in this together. So I like to just kind of dive right into these. These are, again, questions that you are all sending to me anyway. And we're going to just do a deep dive into each of these questions. I'll add some stuff to it, but they'll be pretty straightforward. I like to keep these pretty quick and easy. Your voice notes, your messages, your videos, this is like, it means the most when I hear from you. And so maybe these questions are coming up when you're like, why is this so hard? Why don't I know this yet? Why does my body feel like it's working against me? And so some of the things we'll dive into today are pull-ups, discipline, HIIT classes, bloat, macros, and starting over after being sick. Basically, all things that feel like maybe you're missing something even when you've been in fitness for years. And this is coming from also someone that has been in movement for my whole life, but also in the fitness industry for 13 plus years. And let me tell you something, after learning and experience, after coaching thousands of women, most women think fitness is confusing because they lack information, but the real, true issue is you actually have too much information and zero clarity. I remember early on in my career, I tried to follow every influencer's workouts at once. I also tried to like cherry pick things that different businesses were doing. I would do HIIT and powerlifting and yoga, sprinting, and my body was like, what are you doing? And my business was like, pick a lane. And so instead of seeing that the problem was my strategy, I really thought that I was the problem. And I feel like that's what so many women are doing too. And so today, and I hope in every episode that you listen to, is cutting through the noise. I'm trying to give you clear answers, practical strategy, and truly, most importantly, understanding your body in real life seasons and not in perfect ones, because everyone's looking for this perfect season or this perfect time. And I'm just like, what? There is no perfection. So question number 1, the day old question, how do I get my first pull-up? And honestly, I actually love this question because pull-ups are actually pretty emotional. They're a strength milestone, but also like a total identity shift. Once you get that first pull-up, you are the person that can do pull-ups, because once you do one, you can definitely do more. But let me just tell you kind of a backstory with this. The first time I tried a pull-up in college, I jumped up to the bar, I grabbed it, and my body was like, no, I could not do a pull-up for a really long time. And so I dropped right back down, and I remember just feeling like deflated at that moment. I kind of like looked around and I was like, did anyone see that? It was actually a pretty humbling experience, because in that moment, like lit a fire. I was like, this is the thing I want to complete. But really, it wasn't about the pull-up. It was about proving to myself that I could learn something that felt completely impossible. So with that being said, it is a tough movement. So we need to put in a bunch of reps to do so. And we have to build through it. So the first and foremost, we have to start with hangs, dead hangs, active hangs, scapular hangs. We have to be hanging from the bar, because if your grip can't hold your body, nothing else really matters. So some stuff like farmer's carry and deadlifts also really help with this as well. The second thing is eccentrics. This is the slow negative where really truly the magic happens. And this is where you're kind of jumping over the bar and you are slowly lowering. You'll feel that shake. It means that it's actually working. You can also even use a band around the hooks where your feet are actually still on the band and you're using that to slowly guide down. And that can be an extra piece of support. You can also absolutely use an assisted pull-up machine. Sometimes those feel like a crutch a little bit. And the actual pull-up machine, the bars aren't in the perfect position and they might be a little bit too wide for you. So just keep that in mind. Wherever you decide to challenge yourself in your pull-ups, I really want you to focus on that specific spot every time. And for example, if you want to do chin-ups instead of pull-ups, just work the chin-ups. They do work synergistically. However, if you just go one direction only, that will get you a lot further than where you want to go. So the slow negative is really where those muscles you can really feel those muscles working. And when we think about a pull-up, we want to really focus on everything on your posterior chain. So not just the big muscles on your sides, those lats, but also the back of the shoulders, the scapula, the upper trap, the glutes, the hamstrings, everything is really working there. The next thing we want to do is rows, lat pull downs, scapular pulls, any type of pulling movement, because we want to build the supporting muscles and not just the skill. Also, we want to be touching the bar very, very often. Twice a week is at the minimum, even if it's for 5-10 seconds, but really specifically, you want to be on the bar hanging in some capacity at least 3, 4, 5 times a week, because consistency is always going to beat everything else at the end of the day. So if you have your heart set out on gaining your first pull-up, I need to see you on the bar for 4 or 5 times a week at least. So please do that. I am also working with several clients right now on trying to get their first pull-up. Some clients, it's going to take several months. Some, it might take up to a year. But please just keep working at it and keep staying consistent, and I promise you will get it. I also have a free pull-up guide that I'll also link in the show notes as well. And this is a program that I've built for clients in the past, and we're kind of bringing it back up. Question number 2, I was sick for months or weeks. My strength and energy is gone. Where do I start? Sickness is going around right now. I always feel very grateful this time of year for my immune system and also for not being around children, because I feel like they bring all the sickness home. But this hits home for most people. The first time in my adulthood that I truly got like knocked down sick, I tried to jump right back into workouts like nothing happened. I loaded the bar up like as heavy as I was doing the previous weeks. And I did one lift and I was like, oh my God, my whole nervous system is like shutting down. I can't actually do this. Like, what am I doing? And so we have to give ourselves grace when we are getting back into it, especially if it's been that long of a period of time, right? If you're sick for like a week or two, even like that foundation is still there. Please note that it's not just going to go away that fast. And when you get back into your lifts, do not go like full force, because right after that, I went home and I just cried because I was like, oh my God, I lost everything. Like I lost all my muscles. And I was like, that's not a real thing. It didn't take you months or years to build this for the 2 weeks that you took off for it to be like over. And so here's what I learned from that and have learned over the past several years from many clients and what I typically teach clients now. Again, it definitely depends on how long you've been out for, how long you've been sick, or how long you've been on vacation or taking a break. But either way, we have to go back to the basics. And maybe that is just body weight strength. Maybe we're just getting outside and walking. Maybe we're just getting back into our breath work and we're doing more slower, more intentional movements. Maybe it's a little bit of mobility, yoga, a little bit of stretching. That's really where we're starting to like kind of build back up again. Not saying that you lost everything. We're just trying to build back to where you were. The second thing is you want to cut the intensity like really in half. Your brain is going to be like, oh my gosh, this is so easy. Like I know I can go heavier. And that's how you know you're doing it right. If you want to go harder, before you actually push yourself to that position, just check in with yourself and be like, no, this is actually exactly where I want to be. The third thing you can do is just do shorter workouts. Maybe it's like 20 or 30 minutes in week 1, and then kind of slowly start to rebuild from there. But if we're looking at like the same workouts that you used to do, the intensity is cut, so we might as well shorten as well. We also have to think about that rebuild phase, right? Again, we are not starting over. You are rebuilding from the wisdom that you had and the foundation that you've already built through the training you've already done. This is like an ego thing. And I am definitely like this too. I punch myself while I'm already down. I used to do that all the time. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? This season that you could be in potentially with your sickness or like getting back into it, it will teach you patience. And patience is sometimes like the most important part of strength training. It's like recovery is the most important part. So is patience, because we have to be patient with the progress that we put in. And at the end of the day, you'll probably actually notice that you are going to come back stronger. It just might take a little bit more rebuilding. And then sometimes that like forced time off of recovery was actually what your body needed the most. So if you're really in tune with taking those rest and recovery periods and actually taking some time off and then starting to rebuild a little bit, you'll be like, oh, maybe my body needed this all along. Question number 3. This is actually really fun. I'm really excited that this one came in. And I think this one was actually on Threads. But what is one fitness tip you wish more women understood? This one's so good. And I feel like I could take this in many different ways. You'd probably, if you know me or heard any of my podcasts or see me online at any point in time, you'd probably be like, women need to take up space, or like women lift heavy shit. And I will say that that is like a priority number 1. Like take up space, lift heavy shit, build muscle, build bone density, get stronger and live longer and healthier as you age. But also, I'm going to say for women 30 and up, I would probably say train in phases. You can't operate like a machine all the time. You can't PR all the time. And this goes specifically for my women that are in the intermediate to advanced phase. If you're a beginner, lift heavy shit, take up space. Everyone take up space, right? Every woman take up space. But if you are in the intermediate to advanced, this is for you. Your body is not a machine. You cannot PR year round. You cannot chase fat loss, max strength, marathon training, burnout, all of the freaking time. There has to have some seasons. That's where it actually gets really fun, because that's where like in intentional program design and periodization, I love working with women of all levels, but like in the intermediate to advanced, we can have a lot of fun in the periodization piece of it. And your body needs those seasons. We need some intentional like turn down for what? Turn down for rest. And you'll learn, unfortunately, and I learned this the hard way, and several of my clients learned the hard way before they actually came into Broads. But this was when I was teaching. Oh my gosh. I think I taught like 30 to 35 classes a week. I was in group fitness and taught so many classes. And then it'd probably be like 20 to 30 classes a week. And I would do personal training and I would train like 1 to 2 times a day. It was insane. Like it was like the quickest way to burn out. I was exhausted, I was inflamed, I was injured, and I was still trying to just push harder. And then at the end of the day too, I was still trying to like get smaller. And so my body didn't need more intensity. It needed more structure. And I think looking back on this now in my 30s compared to my 20s, I'm like, oh, I wish I knew this before. So train in phases. You need structure, you need rhythm, you need recovery. And truly, women specifically thrive when they learn how to shift gears and do it on purpose and intentionally, not out of just like total survival or not always chasing a specific goal or weight loss or muscle gain or body recomposition. It's just like we need to live in seasons. And please note too, that doesn't mean like take months off or like, train around your cycles. I'm not saying that. And I'm not like that at all. It's just like, could we be intentional with our training in maybe you are training for a race in this specific time of the year. Maybe you're training for aesthetics this time of year, maybe athletics, maybe lifting heavy. And so having these phases where you can kind of go in and out to be the most athletic and strong version of yourself, that's the way to go. Question number 4, and I feel like this comes up. I think you're already going to know what I'm going to say. I swear, I think I'm officially over the word consistent. I hear it every single day. I can't stay consistent. My routine falls apart when life gets chaotic or something comes up in my life. There's something about that word that just like, I can't hear it anymore because it's the same stuff. And I think the main reason why everyone thinks that they can't stay consistent, this is just from the hours and people I've talked to on a day-to-day basis over the last few months, is that the main reason why people cannot stay consistent is because they can't define what consistency is for them. So I'll literally get on the call with someone when they say, I can't stay consistent. And I'm like, what does consistency mean to you? Because consistency means something to someone. It means something to someone else. Overall, we need to look at the entire year. We have to look at this as like a whole year thing. If you can stay consistent for 3 months of the year, that does not matter if the other 9 you're not. It does not matter. Like it doesn't matter at all. And so if we can look at 12 months of time, which is typically, I love to work with clients for at the minimum of a year, because you're going through every season, you're going through every holiday, you're going through all your obstacles, and you can see what did that look like for you. And if it is what your version of consistency is, so for you, maybe it's 2 or 3 times a week of movement, and you could see that over the course of the year, you are consistent. So first and foremost, define the word consistent to you. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox on the word consistency. It's like so hard. But anyways, when I was in my 20s and, really starting out a business and also like being co-owner of a gym, I was training full time and for my clients and for myself, and then my sleep schedule. Like you can't be consistent in everything and like expect things to be perfect. And when all those things were happening, I did not stay consistent because my routine was not built around my real life. So when you define what that consistency means to you, you have to look at your life. That's why it's so customized to you. And it's so important to define it for yourself, because the truth is you're actually not struggling with discipline. You're struggling with the design and the structure and the plan. You're always trying to like jump into new things, but you're not giving something enough time. And what truly keeps you consistent is minimum baseline goals. A lot of people have these like huge overarching goals, but they don't have their foundations fixed yet. And if you don't have your foundation fixed, it's going to be really hard to get to that next huge step without that foundational step. So it's always going to feel like you're chasing this bigger thing before you get the baseline first. So it has to be built around you and your realistic schedule in your life. Also, not skipping things. Like if you do not have time to work out, you just simplify it. Like stop justifying you not doing that workout and do something else. If you can't get in your hour-long workout, cool. 10 bodyweight squats, push-ups, plank holds, lunges, and jumping jacks for 10 minutes. That's a workout. You also always have to prepare and predict as much as possible. Most of y'all know your routine. You know it like the back of your hand. So how can you add in some things to your routine, one thing at a time, to make it smooth. And when it gets messy, no matter what, you have that one habit that you already added in. If it only works when things are perfect, when you have the time, when you have the bandwidth, like summertime teachers are like, I have the time and do this, but it doesn't work on like a normal day or a stressful situation, it will always be a fantasy. It will never be something that you can stick with if you are constantly searching for something that you're not ready for yet. There is this gap of, I'm not consistent, but I don't have the foundations. And if I'm not working on those foundations, I'm never going to be able to get that thing. I wish you could see me if you're not seeing me because I'm making a lot of hand motions. Soapbox over, but honestly, that word consistency is kind of like making my skin crawl right now. I just can't, like, it's the same stuff. And I just feel like I hope that analogy, or I hope that could be hitting home with you. Because you know what? I'm not consistent with my Spanish lessons, but that's because I have no priority with it. It's not in my routine at all. I haven't made it a habit, but I know that. But I wouldn't say to anyone else, I'm not consistent with that. I would just say, I'm not doing it right now. And that's okay. Okay. Soapbox done on the word consistency. I hope that was either like a hard ass moment or like a truth bomb for you, or like at least a moment to make you think about that word a little bit differently. Question number 5. I love HIIT, but I want to get stronger. How do I mix them? This is actually a really great question. I was a HIIT girly for a long time. HIIT is high intensity interval training, and I actually really enjoyed it. And the reason why I enjoyed it is because number one, group fitness was the way I started like my fitness journey after I was a track athlete and didn't have sports anymore. And when I taught group fitness, I lived on that HIIT high. I lived on the sweat and the soreness and the exhaustion. I mean, I remember when I would work so hard in class that I'd like lay down on the ground for hours after, and I'd be like so proud of myself. Now I like think back about that and I'm like, I was so stupid. I wasn't even able to do anything the rest of the day because I was so dead. But like the energy, the music, the camaraderie, like the people, I love it. I feel you. If you like HIIT, like I truly would, feel on this like high, but I could not for the life of me figure out why I wasn't getting stronger, why my energy was dropping, why I was exhausted all the time. My squat wasn't moving. Like I just like wasn't getting better at like basic movement patterns. And my body was just constantly inflamed. I lost my period. My sleep was wrecked because here's the tea. You cannot train like some crazy Tasmanian devil and expect the body of a Greek goddess. You can do both, but like you can't expect this, muscle definition and tone and look that you probably potentially are trying to get to and also feel athletic and strong and be able to do all of those things while jumping around like a crazy person just chasing the sweat 5 to 6 days a week. So you can do both. Like, don't get me wrong. I still go to a HIIT class like 1 or 2 times a week for that specific reason. Class is fun, camaraderie, the community. I like to push myself hard. But it has to be strategic. So first and foremost, we always have to look at our strength first. And our strength should be at the minimum 2 to 4 times a week. I would say at least 3, but if we're looking at like a strategic schedule, I would say 2 to 4 times a week. HIIT should be no more than 2 times a week, 1 to 2. We also have to make sure that we're not doing any HIIT before lifting and we're doing it on an off day or like an opposite day, right? If we are hitting heavy legs on Monday, probably don't do HIIT on Tuesday. So kind of structure it out with your program design in making it so that you are getting enough recovery and fuel in between. HIIT is a supplement. Strength is the foundation. If you're like, what is HIIT? How can I do this? Do I even need this? Do you need it? No, not necessarily. If you like it, absolutely keep it. You can also do some cardio and conditioning of your choice. This can be like sprints on the treadmill. This can be, I don't know why I'm thinking of burpees came up, but I wouldn't do that. But if you want, conditioning and cardio is great for your heart. So feel free to do that instead of HIIT. But again, that's just another kind of throw it in there strategically. Question number 6. This one's all about bloat. The holidays leave me bloated and spiraling. What actually helps? This is interesting. I went to sushi actually last night. We almost go every Wednesday. That's like our Wednesday thing. We actually go to sushi and then ice cream. So if you want to know what bloat is, it's that. Honestly, I'm not going to give it up because I love it. But it's that. And there's a point in my life right now where I just don't really care about, it's uncomfortable, of course. Like it's not like a fun feeling by any means, but I'm not going to give up sushi and ice cream. And I just love that night. We always go out with friends. It's like a fun activity to do together. But you can kind of feel like garbage after something like that, especially after the holidays, especially if you're eating stuff that you're not normally eating. And the first thing I want you to think of is do not go to panic mode, meaning you do not need a detox. You do not need extra cardio. You do not need to skip breakfast. Like none of those things actually matter. And we are not trying to, burn off the calories that we ate. So first and foremost, keep that in mind. But what actually truly helps is getting back to like your normal routine. I know it's not sexy. I know you want like some like quick fix. You want some bloat free tea, whatever. No, just like literally get back to normal. Hydration is key. Maybe you're adding in some electrolytes here. Regular meals. Yeah, like keep eating. Even if like over the holidays you did overindulge, just get back to your regular schedule. Like don't restrict yourself. For example, I eat so like boring nowadays that I'm always going to have overnight oats. I'm always going to have like a chicken sandwich or wrap or something for lunch. I'm going to just eat the same. Increase your movement just in general. Walking, increasing step counts, that always helps. And also just like de-stressing your nervous system. Like bloating is not a failure. It doesn't mean you have to start over. It doesn't mean anything more than just like it's your body realizing that maybe you ate a little bit too much in that time. It's your body's way of regulating. So we've all been there. Listen, I definitely have had a food belly before, and bloating is a real thing. Get back to your normal routine. Get back to your normal schedule. Number 7, I start strong, then fall off. What actually makes a routine stick long term? This goes back to the consistency one. But let me tell you the truth that my clients and you probably need to hear. Routines will stick when they match your identity. But if your identity is not who you want it to be just yet, it's going to take a lot of reps, a lot of time, and a lot of patience to make it get there, which is why, again, I work with clients, for at the minimum a year, typically like 2 to like really get that identity shift. Let me tell you a story. When I was younger, like before I was even in track, I felt like fitness kind of was this like punishment. Do you remember when you were, gosh, maybe it was like PE and you didn't do something and they were like, you have to run around the block because it was like a punishment. But it was like a way that you almost had to control your body and a way to maybe even make up for what you ate. And I truly feel like it never stuck because it came from self-criticism and not self-support. And I think that's what so many women still do today, is that we have these decades of telling us that to lose weight or be smaller or you're not good enough. And you use this as like a punishment instead of shifting how it actually makes you feel in life. And what I really want everyone to hear, and like what I actually was able to switch it to, is I do this because I'm an athlete, because I'm strong, because I take care of myself for my future self. Like that is when consistency becomes natural. That is when this is like a long-term habit. And it does take so much time. We're always searching for this like external motivation. And it truly sticks when you can find that intrinsic motivation, when you find that purpose, when you find that why, and you finally know what it feels like to feel fucking good. And unfortunately, it takes a while to feel that way, because the way routines typically stay alive is through identity. It's through community. It's through accountability. It's through simplicity. It's through structure and a plan that adapts with your life and all the chapters in your life. And, consistency is not a personality trait. It is truly like an ecosystem that keeps you going. And again, there's that word consistency again. How many more questions we got? Question number 8. Macros confuse me. How do I know what to eat without stressing? Okay, I'm going to break this down in like the simplest terms. When I first started tracking calories and macros, it was so overwhelming. And I feel like I would spend 45 minutes trying to decide between like this protein bar and this protein bar, or like this snack or this meal or whatever. And it was because I was like so terrified of messing up my macros for the day, or really my calories for the day. I hadn't done much with macros. But that's not the goal. This is like when you are fully stressed out about what you're eating all the time, that actually just makes it so much harder to stick with it. So if we can look at like the most basic understanding of like what actually works and how this could fit within your lifestyle at a beginner level, but really can take these basics and simplicity with you forever. Number one is we are trying to prioritize protein. I know people talk a lot about protein. I get it. It's the hot new thing. However, it's important. I'm not going to tell you how much you should be eating. I just want you to look at you getting protein, like a palm-sized serving, pretty much every meal. So that's what I want you to do. Number two is adding fiber intentionally. This is really important, especially for women as they age. 20 to 30 grams a day through whole foods. That's our goal here. It's easy to do when you start with a high fiber breakfast. So important to note there. Number three, realize that carbs are not the enemy. Please stop treating bread like it's the worst thing in the world. We need carbs to fuel. You absolutely need carbs, especially if you want to build muscle too. And, improve your performance and actually get through your whole workout and feel awesome. Number four, I would say, and this is like a fairly basic terms, it's like eat every 3, 4, 5 hours. Like we want to make sure that our energy stays consistent, our mood is consistent, and that is what is making our workout consistent. So that's just an important thing to note. If you don't need to eat that much that often, that's totally fine. But like, again, these are just like basic ways to really like stick with something for the long term, especially on the nutrition front. Number five is really like track if it helps. For some people, they need to know what they're eating. And I very much appreciate that. I think it's a really great tool. Sometimes it can become obsessive, of course. It can become not great for a lot of people, especially if they have a disordered past. But even if you're just writing it down of what you're eating, that'll give you like a really good understanding of how much you're eating and if you're eating enough. So we're treating this as data and information, not morality. So keep that in mind. All right. So I feel like this is a great time to just wrap this up with those 8 big reminders that I really, truly need you to hold on to. And again, I always say thank you so much for being here. But let me wrap this up for you guys. Number one, strength is built through phases, not through perfect weeks. Number two, your routine does not need to be flawless, because what is flawless besides Beyonce and me? Just kidding, but for serious. Number three, bloat is normal. Hormonal changes are normal. Starting over is normal. All those things are normal. Number four, I think we're on number four. Recovery matters more than intensity. Number five, food is fuel, not punishment. Number six, you're allowed to shift seasons. 7, your journey does not need to look linear to be powerful. And number 8, you are always one clear step away from feeling better in your body. God, if you get anything from this episode, you are literally one step. You are one choice, one decision away from feeling better in your body. So before you go, please make sure you follow Broad's podcast on Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Like, subscribe, share, all the things so that you don't miss any episodes. And please download these so that I can hit my 1,000,000 downloads. I would love that. If this one supported you, please leave a rating and a review. It helps so many more women find the show. And I sometimes feel like a broken record when I'm asking for this, but the reviews mean the most to me. So even if it's just like a few sentences of 5 stars, so important. It is truly so important. So if you're craving also deeper support, you know that I have a Broads app, and I have Broads Club, which is our group program, and Broads Coach, which is our personal one-on-one high touch point community. This is personal training, weekly coaching, form feedback, accountability, and truly a full customized system that supports women in every phase of their life. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you and I love you. And I mean it. This has been like the most insane year of sadness and big, deep feelings, and also big, deep, crazy accomplishments. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of you. And let's keep showing up and try and make the next year the best year. Bye.